the gentleman right there. Is the mic over here?
Best of luck to you as our next Vice President.
Yes. Thank you.
There was a time in American history when our country term limited the presidency. Would you and Governor Romney consider a proposal to term limit the members of Congress? Example, 2 6-year terms for our U.S. senators and 6 2-year terms for a member of Congress.
Yeah. I co-sponsored that when I was in Congress. I agree with that. I've always supported that in Congress. That takes a constitutional amendment. What you don't want to do is have a state do it to itself and shortchange its seniority and its spot in Congress. But I've always been a fan of term limits. I've always supported that. I've always believed that this should be something that you serve temporary, not for an entire lifetime. Look, but what we have right now in front of us is a crisis of leadership. What we have right now in front of us is this dead clock spinning out of control, is a government that is borrowing and spending money we don't have. And right now we've got to fix this problem. And I do believe that we've got to change the mindset. That is, too many politicians, like President Obama, and there are a lot of people like him in Washington, are more worried about their next election than they are about the next generation. That's got to change. But also, I'd like to leave like Scott Walker. Yes, I always agree with that. How about over here? Oh, this lady right here in the red. Oh, wait for a mic if you don't mind. No one can hear you otherwise. That's all right. They'll come right to you.
Congressman, I had the pleasure of meeting you 3 years ago at a SOS summit. You took a meeting with me. You sat down with your aides. I don't know if you remember me, but my husband served 26 years as a Green Beret and died. And you took the time, a half hour of your busy schedule, to sit down with a little widow like me, and you cared. And I called my mom and dad right after that meeting, and I said, Mom, I think I just met a future president.
Thank you again. I'm a union electrician. Okay? What I would like to know, every day I get these mass mailings from our union. Yep. Anyway, you know, and guys at work, you know, of course, half of them are one way and half are the other. But these, what can I tell them, or what can you tell, you know, hardworking union people who, for whatever reason, support this failed policy we've been through? What can we do in the future? What are you going to do for guys like me, for the working stiffs?
That's a great question. Well, thank you for being with us. You got to have jobs, right? We want a growing economy. And when you tax something more, you get less of it. When you tax something less, you get more of it. So if you tax families and small businesses more, you get less take-home pay for that family, you get less income for that small business, and you get less jobs. If you lower tax rates for families, they get more take-home pay. They can get ahead, they can save, they can start planning for the future. And if you lower tax rates for businesses, then they have more for their business to expand to create more jobs. This is not a new idea. Jack Kennedy did this, and it created jobs. when Ronald Reagan and Tim O'Neill did this in the 80s, it unleashed unprecedented economic growth. That was in the 20th century. We were in the 21st century. Here is one of our problems. We are in fierce global competition. And so it's not just, an electrician working for a general contractor, working on a school or something like this. It's the fact that most of our businesses pay their taxes as individuals. In Wisconsin, 9 out of 10 businesses pay their taxes as individuals. Drive around any one of our cities, and on the just go up and down 43, you will see industrial park after industrial park after industrial park. And in each one of those industrial parks is a business. 5 employees, 50 employees, 250 employees. 9 out of 10 of those businesses. When they expand, they hire electricians. They hire general contractors. They build things. They pay their taxes as individuals. President Obama is promising, it's coming in current law, that if he's reelected in January, their effective top tax rate goes to 44.8%. Put it this way, you throw the Wisconsin income tax on top of the new federal income tax that our manufacturers and our small businesses pay, and we are going to be taxing our businesses at such higher tax rates than our foreign competitors tax theirs. And here's what happens. When your foreign competitors are getting taxed at a much lower rate than you are, they win, we lose. Overseas, which to us means Lake Superior, right? The Canadians, they just lowered their tax rate to all of their businesses to 15% last January. The average tax rate on businesses in the industrialized world is 25%. President Obama is saying, let's raise it above 40%. What that means is less money for our businesses to expand, but much higher tax rates that kills their ability to compete. This tax increase that he's talking about, it doesn't even pay for 10% of his proposed deficit spending increases. So this notion that we can just tax a few people, he wants you to think it's some Wall Street tycoon or, Brian Braun or some movie star. It's really the businesses that create our jobs. This tax increase is over half of small business income. It's 1 million small businesses, and this tax increase is expected to lose us 710,000 jobs. What Mitt and I are proposing is a 5-point plan for stronger economic growth, for a stronger middle class. It starts with championing small businesses. Lower tax rates across the board by 20%. And, they keep talking about what loopholes. Look at the top 2 tax bracket payers. They're the ones who get most of the tax write-offs, most of the loopholes. That means a lot of their income is sheltered from taxation. Take away the tax shelters, more of their income is subject to taxation, which allows us to lower tax rates for everybody across the board. For families, for middle-income families, for successful small businesses. There's enough room to make sure that families have these things that encourage home ownership, charitable giving, health care, and savings. The point is this. We don't have a tax problem in Washington. We have a spending problem in Washington. We got to have